Okay.
Okay. Hi, I'm Glenda. I would like to address some neglected health problems that some people have today. You see, some of them everyone knows about, like anorexia. Everyone knows that a person with anorexia looks in the mirror and they think they're bigger than they actually are. So they either lose weight or they die trying. Now, I wouldn't want to belittle anorexia. I wouldn't want to make it a slight problem or make light of it. But there is another very weighty problem, a heavy problem that often goes undiagnosed. And that problem is bigorexia. It's when you look in the mirror and you think you're smaller than you actually are. Now luckily, bigorexia has a number of symptoms you can look for if you know that they're there. Now the first symptom that you might see is when your friend or your partner looks in the mirror and she looks at herself from behind and she turns to you and says, "Do you think my butt looks too small in this?" That is a red light. Really, it's a red flag. To be true to her, to be kind, you have to tell her the absolute truth. You're as big as the back of a bus. There's no way your butt could look too small in anything. Of course, as a bigorexic, she'll think you're just kidding. Now, a man who's a bigorexic, he's different. He could have a build of a bodybuilder, but when he looks in the mirror, he could still see a 90-pound weakling. Maybe that's a good thing. Another sign of a bigorexic is they think because they don't know they're big, they think they can eat as much as they want to. And they hate wasting food. You may notice you're in a restaurant with your bigorexic friend and you've left some food on your plate. And she says, "Are you not going to eat that? I'll take that." Now, you cannot let them do that. What you have to do is tell them you'll get the leftovers wrapped up and then you just forget them conveniently. Another sign of a bigorexic is when they want to put on something that's too small for them. They rationalize it completely. They'll say, "Oh, it shrank in the wash." Another thing that you might catch them doing is taking a magic marker and marking the label on their clothes to a smaller size. It's a problem. The best medical solution is to just hide the magic markers. Now, living with a bigorexic is a constant struggle. The very worst combination is when an anorexic lives with a bigorexic. They're mirror images of each other, but they can't seem to stand in each other's shoes. Now, while I have your attention, I'd like to bring up a psychological problem I observed when I was working in a mental hospital. And that's that there's a certain undiagnosed mental state that you really need to take into consideration. You see, it's all around paranoia. Everybody knows about paranoia, right? Paranoia is when you think somebody's out to get you, but nobody's out to get you. Or you could think nobody's out to get you, and nobody is out to get you. And then you're sort of normal, I suppose. Or maybe you're a fantasist, because often there is somebody out to get you and you just don't know it. You could think somebody's out to get you and they are out to get you, and that's just realism. Or you could think that nobody's out to get you when there is somebody out to get you. And that is the dangerous state of polyanoia. It comes from a literary character named Pollyanna, who used to foolishly try to make the best of any situation she ever found herself in. Well, I think I've talked to you enough about these things. I'd just like to raise austerity as a health issue. Austerity has caused a lot of health problems. Not for bankers, but for your average person it has. So I decided that it would be very good if I tried to save some money. So I began by saying I would actually cycle into town instead of taking the bus, and that way I would save money. But then I realized that I was wear and tear on the bicycle, so I thought I'll walk into town. But then I realized there was wear and tear on my shoes. So I finally realized the best way to save money was just not to go at all. Are we nearly done? 5 minutes. Yeah. Well, anyway, I realized I had to get bigger, so I started trying to save money by not going on a cruise, and I wrote all this down, and then I didn't buy any designer clothes or handbags. I saved a whole bunch of money, and I saved loads when I didn't get that Ferrari. So I got my list together, I went to the bank, I saw the manager, and I said, "I have now saved 50,000 pounds, and I'd like to invest it. I'd like to set up an account." And I showed him my list of everything I'd saved over the year. And he looked at me like he thought I was crazy, and he says, "You haven't got any money." I was so offended. I said, "Well, neither have you. But the difference between you and me is I didn't go to the government and look for a bailout. That's it. Good night. Okay?